You are now tuned into the Black Ramen Podcast. I myself, Chatty Patty, with the beautiful.
Hello. This is Sleepy Brie, everyone.
Yes, if you guys don't know, we actually just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. We've been doing.
Oh my god!
I know. We came such a long way, ladies and gentlemen.
We have all the way from that little McDonald's.
Oh my god!
Yeah, you remember? I feel like it's almost necessary to tell this story every year of how this started.
Yeah,
just like as a constant reminder to just go out and try anything. Mm-hmm. So like, how was it? It started with the meetups, the Anime NYC, not Anime NYC, but just like anime in Manhattan meetups, and then from Manhattan to Brooklyn.
Yes, that's where we first met. There's an app called Meetup, and there was a specific group called Anime NYC Meetup, and that's why I met Bree. And then we decided that we were going to try the Brooklyn Meetup because the anime meetup was too. I don't want to say bad things about the anime meetup in Manhattan because it brought us together, but it lacked a lot. To me, I felt like it lacked a lot. Like,
yeah, and I'm trying to figure out it was awkward.
Yeah,
I think that was almost like the starter village of sorts. This is where people are going for the first time to really meet. But you'd sit there and everyone at the table would avoid eye contact as you try to figure out something to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
So like everyone was genuinely interested in anime, but it's what happens when you throw like 10 nerds into a room. Silence.
Yeah,
but then we went to Brooklyn.
Yes, we all decided to go to Brooklyn. Shout out to Enzo. We all decided that we was going to go to Brooklyn, and it was a little smaller, but when I tell you the vibe was just everybody was talking to everyone, and I felt like Enzo did that intentionally because he saw in the anime meetup in Manhattan that everybody was cliquey. Not everybody was, talking with each other. He made it his business to make sure that when you stepped in, he introduced himself. And like, if you were an introvert, he would still talk to you. He'd be like, "Hi, how you doing?"
He would, and that was nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Like it's hard to get those first words out, but he really put in the effort.
Oh yeah,
and it was from there that when you just start talking and vibing people, I feel like a million people had the same thought in their head in like 2018, 2019. Ha ha ha! We're so fun. We should make a podcast. Like with the explosion of podcasts right before COVID. Everyone's just suddenly deciding they have something interesting to say. Like everyone and their moms had a podcast. Hell, my mom has 2 podcasts.
Oh my god!
Starting from like that same time period, everyone was getting a podcast.
Yeah.
Before Zoom was cool.
Yeah, that was true. That was, what's so beautiful about, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. The way we organized this podcast and the way the first person who said they wasn't going to say shit was Bree.
Huh? What?
No, yes.
To be honest, I didn't even think it would happen. Like I said, everyone at the time said, you should make a podcast. Oh my God, we'll totally make a podcast. So when you were saying like, I'm going to make a podcast, let's really do this. I'm like, yeah, sure. People always say, let's really do this. Like when you have a group of more than 3 friends and you try to plan a trip, everyone knows the trip isn't actually going to happen. Wow. Especially not with those original more than 3 people.
That's true.
So I assumed like after the meetup, because we went to the meetup, I think it started at like 6 or something. We always stay till the shop closes and they say, hey, can y'all get the hell out? So we got the hell out. We walked to the 24-hour McDonald's down the corner and we continued there. So now it's like stupid o'clock in the morning, aka like a minute past midnight for me. My name is serious. Please take sleepy literal, folks. So it was late for me, and everyone's thinking like, yeah, Patty at the lead. We're gonna make a podcast. I'm like, yeah, big yawn. Totally. Yeah, that podcast will happen. Here's what happened. We're gonna meet up at like this time at this date. We'll go to like Stickies or wherever, and we'll like hash out the detail. I'm like, yep, Sure, hashing out the details. Oh yeah, I'm totally on board. There was this random dude who I swear I'd never seen at the meetups, whose name was like Derby, like Kentucky Derby. That's what he said. My name's Derby, like Kentucky Derby.
Derby. That's how we met.
And
Derby.
like, I don't know this guy, but apparently he's on board too, and he knows something about computers.
Yeah.
And there were like, I don't know, 10 of us at least, too many to fit at one table at McDonald's. I didn't think it would happen, but then we met up one time. There was pizza, there was food, and we made a crappy recording. You know what, Patty? Do we still have those like original episode zeros somewhere?
I think we do. But am I going to release them? No.
I'm so tempted to. Like, not on YouTube. Y'all have to pay for that. But like, maybe at some point we will selectively release just these like crappy demos. The quality is not good. The speech is not good. We have too many people saying too many things.
Oh yeah.
We have folks in the background because by then we are also going with like 5 people in the room along with the people who are recording.
5?
Oh, it was a mess.
It was more than 5, Bree. It was a lot more than
It was a lot. We did have to order like 2-3 large pizzas to feed everyone.
Oh yeah, but before we even did that, we actually recorded in the library. Well, this is what happened. If Bree said, this is all new to me now because Bree definitely
yeah, I didn't think it would actually happen.
No, you gave me that image that you was like, yeah, I'm down. I'll just be the one. So Bree was supposed to be like mediator, keeping track of time, making sure that we don't go off topic. And then she was the one that was in the background with the laptop, timing us to make sure we move on to the next topic. She said that's what she want to do. She don't want no mic, none
right?
Nothing.
I'm shy, Woo.
If you haven't seen the panel that she was on the Anime NYC, ladies and gentlemen, you're doing yourself a disservice. The way Bree announced her Fujoshiness, like she was not shy, not at all. So we recorded. We made an attempt. We recorded the library, and then that was a big fail. And
y'all, if you have been listening to this podcast, you know by now we start yelling, we get loud, we get angry, and we weren't even at a big library. It was like some little podunk local library
in Brooklyn. Yeah, it was
that's like barely one room large. We were in like a little, almost closet room off to the side.
Yeah,
like there was no soundproofing, there was no quiet, there was no polite, and y'all have heard us. When was the last time we had an episode that didn't say hentai? Like, in case we haven't yet today, here's our hentai reminder.
That's true.
And we were yelling in a little room right off the kids section.
Oh yeah,
right next to the picture box.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad.
It was bad. It was such a bad idea.
It was, but at least it got the juices flowing. We were like, we got to pick a better spot, but at the same time too, if this didn't solidify that this podcast needs to be done, I don't know what would. So Derby offered his home. God bless Derby.
Right?
Oh God, Derby offered his home to us, and we were able to record at Derby's crib. And then I think that's what made Bree was like. I think I was on the phone with Kevin, and then Bree called me on the other line, and I said, "Hold on, Kevin. Bree's on the other line. Hold on." So I think I put Bree on 3-way with me, you, and Kevin, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I want a mic." I was like, "What?" She said, "I want a mic. I want to talk."
And this is after our second or third attempt at recording.
It had to be a 4.
No, we had at least like 3 episode zeros by then, I think.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
We were a few in. And the thing was, they just kept saying stuff, and I kept hearing them say, I know about that.
She had it in her. She wanted to fight us.
I did. I wanted to grab the mic in front of your mouth and start saying stuff. Oh, I had to bite my tongue so hard I almost bled.
But it was so cool because you kept it so calm and cool because your head was just like on the laptop. You didn't make no gestures like somebody said something that was fucking stupid or crazy. You was just so cool. And then after that, you was like, "Yeah, I want a mic.
I'm gonna plug me in, coach."
And that was the biggest mistake we ever did in our life.
Yup. Because now I always think all the time, yeah, I'm putting a lot of things out on the internet that I don't need to be putting out. I wonder that every recording saying, So I really want this to be immortalized on Spotify, but I still hit upload. So says something about me as a person, I guess.
No, this is ladies and gentlemen, Bree does not like to listen to her own voice.
Oh,
so yeah. Bree just started editing like videos and our audios not too long ago because she hates hearing the sound of her voice. That's the only way we could record with her if she doesn't have to hear her own shit, right? So Bree, without doing that, Bree came in full force. Me and Kevin were like, who's this? Who's this? We weren't prepared. We didn't know what was going to come out of Bree's mouth. But when I told you she light up everybody's ass, like she was like, first of all, no, you're not going to do that in my presence. Like she let everybody know what the rules were without telling us what the rules were. Like that's the type of vibe I got. And I loved it so much because I didn't want to be the only girl, the only woman on the podcast that had such a powerful presence when the mic is on.
That's a real polite way to say it. Say it had a let's call it a powerful presence. You know, that's the label we'll slap on this.
You can't just let me just get one, right? You just have to I can't. But yeah, it was amazing. Like I finally met like my soulmate and I was like, oh, this is fire. This is so fire. I couldn't see us doing anything without Bree. Like Bree was just like, she and you know what's so crazy about Bree? It's like if you stumble upon a problem, I will sit there and be like, oh my God. Bree will be like, shut up. What do you want to do now? How are we going to fix this? What do you want to do? I'm like, all right. I'm gonna relax. I got it. I'm gonna relax. But yeah, that's pretty much how Bree was able to just be Bree. Like I don't think I knew Bree until she had a mic. Dang. I don't think I knew Bree until she had a mic. And she became so vocal and I loved it. Because I feel like there's a stigma when it comes to especially women with mics. Like I feel like you can be able to have your own voice. You can be able to say what needs to be said without people labeling you as aggressive or angry Black woman or anything like that of that nature. Like I love the fact that Bree, like I can there's times I second guess if I'm saying too much or if I'm just being too crazy, and then I look at Bree, I'm like, nah, I'm not. I'm not because you know why? Because Bree right there with me. So I'm like, okay,
I'm right there at that level of crazy. That's what I heard. Yeah. I think I go too far sometimes, but then I see Bree over there 10 miles ahead of me, and it's like, it's fine.
It's fine. I just follow her. I think like I'm gonna say like the craziest shit. Bree said before me. I'm like, oh, there it is, and I feel fine. I feel amazing. But the past 4 years has definitely been amazing. What's been so cool, I just want to do a shout out real quick to Christopher Skits. Christopher, if you're listening, we appreciate you. So this is Christopher has I think he found us on TikTok, right? And Christopher decided to go on this journey with us, and he decided to listen to every single episode that we had on YouTube. Not only that, he was able to leave a comment on every episode that we've posted on YouTube.
Thank you. That's just, oh my God.
It was amazing. He said he saw the growth. He liked the topics that we had, and he had something to say for every episode that let us know that, you know what, maybe we could go elaborate on this a little more. Like I learned something more about the episode that I forgot that was posted because of his comments. So after he was done catching up, because I swear our episodes are like One Piece. So after he caught up and he got to Wano, Christopher decided to go to our store and purchase some Black Ramen merch, right? And after that, he became a patron and was part of our Patreon. Is part of our Patreon. So I just want to say, Chris, thank you so much. You don't know what that means to us. You definitely, if that didn't give us motivation, nothing will. That was amazing that you took the time out to listen to little old us, loud, obnoxious us, toxic us, Fujoshi us, slice of life, BL us, Isekai us. Shout out to Dirk.
Isekai.
So much, so much. The fact that you were able to do all this kept me, Bree and Derby going. On behalf of Black Ramen, we just want to thank you, and we can't wait to actually connect and reach out to you, because we definitely have to converse. We all of us, we're just super excited that you were able to enjoy the episode, and it just lets us know that, hey, somebody's listening, and that was great.
Oh, yeah, that's thank you everyone who like supported us, said hi to us, have listened to us ever, given us shout outs, had us on your stuff, or we had you on ours.
Oh yeah.
It's been a great, is this the start? I think this is the start of our 4th year rather than the end of our 4th year. So we're entering year 4 of Black Ramen.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, so what all happened in year 3? Where were we last year? Well, I'm back in New York, East Coast now. This time last year I was in California, but I'm officially in the same time zone as Black Ramen again.
Yes. This is amazing too. A lot of you guys, if you didn't know, Bree was in Cali for the most part of last year, and she was still able to make it to the recordings. And even though there was a time difference, she'd be there, half sleep, eating breakfast, eating dinner, and she would be like, okay, I'm ready. And sometimes I forget, because she would make herself so accessible to us to record, and I'd be like, yeah, we're recording at 1:00 Sunday, and she's like, 1:00 your time or 1:00 my time? I'm like, what the fuck she talking about? Then I'm like, oh yeah, she in Cali. So yeah, Bree definitely made it her business to be a part of the show. I'm not gonna hold you, Bree. When you told me you was going to Cali, I really thought that you were gone. And the first day I ran to Mike and I was like, yo, I lost Kevin, now I lost Bree. Like, what am I supposed to do? He said, first of all, that's really selfish of you, because that's all you think about. This girl is
No. I was not willing to let this podcast go. From the other side of the country, I had like family nonsense to deal with. I got that sorted out. A year and a half later, I was always thinking, okay, I got to get back, because it has always been a blast having a podcast. Guys, I can't recommend it enough. Start a podcast with some friends.
Oh yeah.
Just do it for a little while. Put some episodes together. It's so much work. Oh my god. I don't do nearly enough of the work, but I see Patty and Derby doing the work all the time, and it looks like a lot.
Oh, it's it's not as much. Well, yeah, it's a lot.
It was worse before we had our current systems. So when we started out, we had we had 5 different tabs open. We were filming with like a cell phone while recording with another cell phone, and we were trying to like sync up the sound. Everyone had their own like computer. We had like 5 different apps open.
The separate recordings was what killed us. We recorded each other separately, and then we had to sync everything, and
sync the audio and sync the video, because we recorded video separate from audio. So each of us had like 2 separate files we had to submit, then sync up.
Yes.
Oh god,
that was a lot of work that we had to do, and it was oh man. But the conversations would be so fire that's what motivated us, because the talks would be so good. Sometimes we forget that we were recording and we'll just talk. And it was all worth it at the end of the day. First of all, Restream, we love you
so much.
The way
I'd love you if you were cheaper, but
oh yeah, most definitely. But the way this is gonna go pop on YouTube when we're finished, just a quick transfer,
going to bed.
Love it. But if you are starting a podcast, definitely I would recommend, do not spend any type of money. Right? Try to make sure that you spend the least amount of money, if you have to spend money, just to make sure that this is something that you want. Because we didn't spend any type of money. What we did, we spent money on mics. We spent money on, and they were like low budget.
Yeah, like $30-$40 tops on Amazon.
Yeah, we didn't really go all out, and we we were more concentrated on the content first, and then top it off. We started off with so many people. You have to realize like who's gonna stay and who's gonna go. We had a trial and error phase.
Yeah, I feel
So
like you can't easily have more than 4 people on one recording. Like,
I
if you're trying to have a
agree.
large group, you can maybe like switch them in and out, but I feel like 4 is the absolute max if you really want everyone to talk.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because it's just three of us, and we still have issues with us getting our points across. Like, but one thing I do have to say, the people that were there before us, they will always be a part of Black Ramen. Like the people that were there in the beginning, if you started off with Black Ramen, you're still part of Black Ramen
All right, if
because
you were there at that McDonald's,
you're part of Black Ramen. If you was there eating slices of pizza with us while we were recording at Derby's house,
oh,
you are part of Black Ramen.
yo, we were
Yes.
there for like 6 hours in order to make like a 40-minute recording.
Yes, that
Because we
was
couldn't even figure out how to plug in our wires.
man.
So we had to like call someone else to come by. We was like, yo, we got pizza here though.
Yo,
Do you have an ACX cord? I don't know what an ACX cord is. Cool, neither do we.
None of the chords were. As long as they fit into each other, I was like, that's it. All right, we fixed it. Shout out to Darius, Control Freak, our #1 DJ for Shonen Pump. He definitely saved us a lot. Anytime when we first started and we needed like wires or whatever the case was, he was the one that told us exactly what to get for the bare minimum, for the low, and that's how we were able to record in one room with Derby and his laptop and the 4 mics and the 4 headphones, which was great for the most part. But then you got to remember transportation and gas money, and that was a lot. That was a lot for just
riding that train an hour and a half out to the last stop and then hopping on a bus for 20 minutes after that. Then walking 15 minutes. It was a time.
It was a time, but I felt there was one time, was I with you? Where, yeah, I was with you guys. We were on a train and we were talking about, we were so excited. We were going to Derby's house and we actually was talking to we were talking about anime, and there was a guy who was sitting across from us on the train, and he ended up talking about manga with us, and we were just like, the feeling I got from just going conversing with this guy back and forth, I was like, I can't wait to go to Derby's house and record.
Right,
like it felt so good. It really did feel so good.
That was some great starting times. And from that, even in just now, like we're at the end of year 3, we're going into year 4. Just looking back, we went from, again, saying we should make a podcast at McDonald's. We ended up getting press passes to various cons. This year, we went to Texas. We flew to Texas. Like, in this podcast, like, hobby, pretty much, we bought flights. Flew half across the U.S. to attend a con because we got press passes.
Yeah.
We also had multiple panels. Oh my God, we're panelists, guys. I just feel so official. Yeah. It's wild.
We're panelists.
Like, I'm spouting nonsense, and now people are listening to me spouting nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we did panels. I think that was at Philly Expo.
Yeah.
That was earlier this year. And then most recently, just like 2 weeks ago, we were at Anime NYC as panelists.
Yeah, that was
fun. I was so nervous. So in case you guys don't know, we had a panel at Anime NYC on, I don't know if they noticed, on making safe spaces for Black women in the nerd community. So hyper specific. I was so nervous. I didn't think anyone would show, because later, as we approached closer to the date, I looked at that title and was like, ugh. That sounds so dry. That sounds really dry. That sounds like a seminar you're obligated to take for your work because you accidentally sexually harassed someone.
Mind you,
that's what it sounds like.
The title. I told you what the title was, and you was like, "All right."
I know, but as things get closer, you start second guessing everything. Like everything. Like, is my fly open? No. Am I good? Do I have toilet paper stuck to my shoe? Do I have lipstick on my teeth? Does this title sound okay? Everything was freaking me out. I think I played it cool, but as the days approached, I was like, oh crap. Oh crap. Like, I know we have this, but I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, public speaking. I haven't had to public speak since like maybe high school the last time I gave a speech. I don't think I ever had to give speeches in college. I got lucky.
Bree was flawless. Bree, when I tell you Bree was flawless, there was a couple of times I stumbled on my words and I just looked at her and Bree gave me that look like, good. 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 You know that look she gives you like, you know, she does that. Okay. Like, good.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Never did that in my life.
It's nope. Okay. It's on camera. It's okay.
It is on YouTube, guys, if you want to check out the panel. But oh my god, I was so nervous. But like when we got up on that stage and there were people in the seats, Anime NYC did something kind of weird this year. If you didn't attend, pretty much all of their rooms, like that you would have been used to for panels in previous years, were reserved for industry or big names. Right. So instead, for pretty much all the fan ones, they put all the just like independent, and it felt like all the black ones, but I think that's just all of everyone. Yes. You had to go like up some stairs and up some escalators to like the very top level, then just like walk, and then they had like a little platform stage and some seats just pretty much in the middle of the hallway. It was a wide hallway. People could like lounge around the corners, but for the most part, it was just there in the middle of the floor. And when I saw that on Friday, I was there on Friday. Our panel wasn't until Saturday. I almost was gonna cry because I looked at it and said, oh my god, they're gonna get up and just walk away in the middle. Someone's gonna come, like all the seats will be empty. This is what I had in my head. All of the seats would be empty. Someone would like walk through the corridor looking for a place to sit. They'd chill in the seat, look at us from like the back row, because you know they're not interested. They're not sitting up front. They're gonna sit down in the back row for a minute, tie their shoe, text someone on their phone, then get up and leave. And that would be our entire panel as we're like sitting up on stage, like choking on our words. We would have one person come, sit down, lose interest, and dip
and walk. And walk.
That's what I thought it was going to be. Nothing stopping them. At least when you had panels before, there was a door that was closed. So all the nerd people who came in would really have to see, are they bold enough to stand up in a closed room and open the door when everyone's looking at them? Right. So the terror of being a nerd in a room they're too scared to leave would keep an audience. There was no room. There was nothing stopping them. They can just slink in and slink out. And I was like, oh god, creating safe spaces for black women in anime communities. Oh, they're leaving. They're all leaving.
We filled up them seats. We did pretty well. We did pretty
we did
well. And I'm super, listen, everybody that took a part of that panel, if you guys were there, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being.
Thank you so much for sitting down and staying seated.
Yeah, and participating.
Thank you guys. Yes, for participating, for like coming after questions, for talking to us. Though, let me tell you the story of this one weird thing that happened and the situation.
Oh no!
I got to. This was just so wild. Even right now, like 2 weeks after, I'm trying to figure out how did this happen. As I have said, we had a panel called "Creating Safe Spaces for Black and POC Women in the Nerd Anime Communities," and the entire time we were like going on about like respect, like let people have their place, say their word, whatever. The actual wording's up there. But at the beginning, we were having some tech trouble. We were going to have this presentation with like a slideshow and some pictures up on screen, but we were missing the laptop. So at the last minute, we were supposed to have someone who's going to come and bring a laptop. We had a guy, and like 1 minute past our start time, we still didn't have it. And he was like, okay, he's upstairs. He'll be on his way. It's fine. Mm-hmm. So we're at this long table. We are partnered with Hubtaku. So Tammy from Hubtaku was on one end, Patty in the middle, and me on the other end. We're we're getting our flow. It's going well. I noticed the guy with the laptop did arrive, but it didn't really work. But they're all the way at the other end. And I'm too nervous to like really pay attention to what's going on there. So all the way, it's going well. Then randomly, right at the end, like maybe 5-10 minutes left, this guy comes on stage and he's like, oh my god, sorry, I'm late. So of course, since I'm on the end, he like grabs a seat right next to me. He starts adjusting his mic. And like he straight up had said to me, "Yo, my bad. I'm a bit late. I'm here, guys." And I'm like, "Huh, yeah, lit. Glad you made it. Who are you? Who?" So if you watch the recording, maybe you can see my face, but like again, we're on an elevated stage. You have to go up like 2-3 steps. It's maybe like 2 feet off the ground. So he fully walks up onto the stage in front of the crowd, sits next to me, and starts adjusting the mic, confident as the sun rising in the east, sitting down. So I'm like, okay, great. You guys might not know this about me, but I am shit with faces and shit with names. I will not recognize you for at least 2 months, but I know this about myself, and I feel bad when I forget people's names. So I pretend I know you. I pretend, oh yeah, great to see you again. How have you been? And that thing you were working on? Great. I will do my best until I can remember your face and name. Patty, on the other hand, she can like spot someone half a mile away wearing like a baseball cap and a mask on their face and know because of like their left eye, oh, I know that guy. Chase them down and start a conversation because she recognizes everybody. So me walking around with Patty all the time, she'll spot someone dash and start chatting them up like they're besties. And like, okay, this is probably someone I also met at some point. Because if Patty knows them through the podcast, I've probably also met them. Who knows? We might have even had them on the podcast. So this man comes up on stage, sits down next to me, says, "My bad, sorry I'm late." And I'm like, oh shit, I don't know who this is, but this is probably okay. Is it the guy who was bringing the laptop? But I could have sworn I saw him 30 minutes ago. Middle of the panel. We are in the absolute middle of the panel. Like chatting with the audience, things I think are going pretty well. And I'm not about to like stop in the middle to have an embarrassing moment where he says like, "Oh, what do you mean who am I? We spent like an hour partying together last Tuesday or something." I don't know. I assume Patty will know him. So I'm like, yeah, this is interesting.
Nah, Brie kept it cooler than a cucumber.
Right. What did it look like from your perspective? Because we have to get several perspectives on this.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't want to take away from what we were doing, right? So I was just like, all right, cool. I don't want to put this nigga on blast and people just forget everything that happened prior to I didn't want a Will Smith moment, right? So I was just like, who is this nigga? So his mic wasn't working, so that allowed me to just keep talking, right? I mean, you could still hear him a little bit. Like you'll hear him, like if you watch the episode on YouTube, you'll actually hear him say shit in the corner, and then we'll just talk over him a little bit and we'll just pretend like he's not there. So this is what pissed me off more than anything, right? So this one white girl, this white woman, she comes on and she asks us a question like, what can she do to be a better ally? And he shouted out,
really heartfelt and earnest, like nothing wrong with this lady. She was being great, very sweet.
Yeah. First of all, I would she came into a space and stood up and asked a very bold question. So I gave her credit for that. Mm-hmm. She asked like, what can she do to be a better ally? Right. And this is what pissed me off was the fact that he shouted out and said, just be yourself. I said, no, fuck that. No.
With some empty random answer.
Right. And
it was like, oh, you don't have to do anything. Just be yourself. I'm like, whoa. If a white person is coming up to a panel that's specifically about creating safer spaces for Black people and Black women in the community and saying, what can she do to help? The answer is not, oh, no, you're good. You just do you, boo. What? No, give a real answer.
No, because I feel like she really genuinely wanted to know. I feel that way. So I'm like, okay, cool. If that's how you feel, let's give her a genuine answer. Right. So when he answered that, I said, no. This is what you're going to do. I don't want, and I'm speaking for a lot of people that are here. We don't want allies. We want accomplices. We want to be able to know that if you are really rocking with us, you really rocking with us. And another thing too that I should have said is that if you want to be an accomplice with us, if you want to be quote unquote allies, these conversations that we're having shouldn't be left in the room with just Black people. You should be able to talk to your friends and family about racism, about being a better person and being a better human being, not just having conversations with Black and POC people saying you're allies. That don't, no. For you to do better, it is 24/7. You don't have this conversation with Black and POC people only. You have this conversation with your friends. You have this conversation with your family on what they can do to be less of a racist, less of a bigot, less of a homophobe. You have those conversations. They start at home.
And they're awkward.
Like, they're very awkward.
With your uncle who's just like a little bit not okay on the things he likes to say. It's going to be awkward at Thanksgiving. It's going to be awkward at Christmas. It's going to be awkward at great grandma's birthday.
Of course.
You got to do it.
You know what? It's fine because that's how we've been feeling for the past, 400 years. Everything's been awkward for us. We've been trying to make safe spaces for us for all our lives, centuries, decades, or whatever. So it's never meant to be easy. That's why I said I don't want allies. I want accomplices. This is not something that's meant to be easy. It never was. And the fact that this was a learning moment. This was a teaching moment. Granted, I'm not in for schooling white people because Google is free. But I still felt the need that this message had to come across, not just her as a white woman, but to everybody else, that you don't want just allies. You want somebody that's going to have your back on a consistent basis when you're not around. That's going to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations, not because a Black person or a POC person is in the room. You should be able to have those conversations without us being present, because this is just as important to you as it is to us. So I felt after he noticed that we were going hard, that nigga left.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think
came like it was nothing and dipped out. It was nothing. I didn't even notice him leaving. But again, I was confused. I thought he might have been with Hubtaku. I thought someone had to know him, bold as day. Afterwards, when we were talking to people in the crowd, apparently a lot of people in the crowd were also confused at his sudden appearance and sudden departure. And literally everyone was wondering, what just happened? Who is he? Was he supposed to be up there? Was he not supposed to? Again, we didn't want to draw attention to it at the time, but just the audacity to come up in a panel specifically about respecting people's boundaries and just insert himself on stage. Well, why? What was the thought process? Did someone dare him $20 to do it?
I think he saw 3 women and knew that he could get away with it. That's what it was.
Dang, I'm a little annoyed with myself for letting him in that case. Because I wasn't sure, say something or not say something. Do I address this right now? If his mic had actually worked, if his mic would have really done something. But I don't know. I feel like it was a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, if his mic was working, we would have said something. But the problem is that we were caught because we are in front of people that came to listen to us, and it's in our backyard. So it's we're still nervous, as much as we like to be on our mics and talk all the shit that we want to talk about with our full chest. It's kind of different when you have the people that's been listening to you on your podcast be in front of you and be so attentive in what the message was.
Right. And I didn't want to distract from that either.
Nah, I didn't.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. Anyone listening, what would you do in that scenario? What do you think you would have done? What would you liked to have done? Because honestly, I might not have done anything differently. Because what we were saying was more important than some random douche suddenly jumping up. So I'm okay having not ratted him out, screeched him out on the spot. We just he doesn't exist. Don't worry about him. Who him? Yeah.
Yeah.
And and the possibility, there were two groups of us. There was Black Ramen and there was Hubtaku. He could have been with them. They thought he might have been with us.
I mean,
so
Tammy was the one that told us later that because we thought that he was probably supposed to. Well, I thought he was probably got the panels mixed up, and maybe he was supposed to be in the panel before.
It was a panel after.
Yeah, there was or after. I don't know.
But again, this is a very specific stage. They pretty much had the panels going back to back there. Right. So as soon as one group left, like the next group was funneled right in.
Right, but the panel before was the LGBTQ, right? And I don't know. It didn't seem like he was part of that LGBTQ community.
He was giving me audacity.
Yeah, like, he was giving me cis vibes.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, nah. So and then I was thinking maybe he was supposed to be in the panel before us with the Toonami, 25 years in Toonami panel. But Tammy's mom was like, no, he was there at that panel. As in in the audience, and he was asking questions. So he just did this shit on a whim and just got on stage and on some real shit, right? All jokes aside, we were able to laugh it off later because it ended out being not fucking up our shit. But this is why we have panels like this, because it's like, as a man, what gave you the balls to come up and see three women talking about creating safe spaces for you to just come in and chime in with nothing but to
offer? I'm I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say it's because it was like us three women talking about women issues. Maybe it's so woke or whatever, because he didn't do it for the panel before and he didn't do it for the panel after. So why ours? It just feels like something else we have to do with. As who we are in this community. It's annoying. And so in hindsight, I think it's hilariously random. Not of him, just the weird nonsense we're deal with. Mm-hmm. But still, come on, dude. Really?
Yeah. I mean, all he did was just prove us right of why.
Oh my God, yeah.
Have safe spaces for us to geek out, because we're not. There's some areas that we're not respected, and it was kind of hurtful later on when I found out that this nigga was really trolling us. He really just popped up
just for the sake of it.
Nobody invited you and you had nothing to add to the table at all, and then you had the audacity. You knew what panel it was, because it was three women talking about anime, talking about safe spaces, and you just decided to just come and just troll and just try to act like, oh, because I heard him sit down and say, oh, sorry I'm late. I'm like, sorry I'm late, who the fuck? And we had to keep cool. I think we did the best that we could have done in the professional setting that we were in. And I do commend Bree, because Bree just rubbed it off like she was like, all right, this whoever he is, he's here, whatever. And now we know for the future, just to be aware of what might potentially happen and just have your P's and Q's in order, because stuff like this can't keep happening, because this is why motherfuckers don't take us seriously, because they feel like they could do shit like this. No, we need to be in a space where we could check you and still have our message being brought across. And I feel like he was lucky that the mics were off. And if you're listening to this, kiss the blackest part of my ass. For real, nigga, kiss the black. You did the most dumbest shit that you could possibly do for clout, and you're not in any of the videos. You didn't get captured. You didn't add anything to the table. You didn't do a proper representation of cis men at all. You just sat there. You made yourself look like a fool. Eat a dick, bitch ass nigga. And this is the type of niggas I say that don't open up their ass cheeks to let the water in. This is that type of nigga. But let's just let that go. I think we did the best that we could have done.
Right. I'm happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
In NYC this year, it was a good weekend. I think they got the numbers right. They got the lines right. The artist alley was phenomenal.
I
The
was
art
scared
alley
as
was
hell to
so
be
well filled.
outside
It took
for a
me more
while.
than 2 days to walk through just the artist portion, and I barely even got to the industry portion.
I thought you was gonna be outside, you and Derby, for a while. So what ended up happening was I picked up everybody's ticket by accident, right? Because we got the panel tickets. I put me and Bree's email, the black our emails under, because you know when you do panels, they send you your individual QR code. I used the same email that Bree used. So when they scan you to give you your pass, I scanned and I'm like, we have 4 of the passes. I thought they was gonna give us all 4. It said, nah, it was sent individually. I was like, oh fuck. So I sat there with Mike and picked up everybody's pass. So I got Derby's email. I got Mike's email. Mike got his email QR code. I got Tammy's. I was picking up everybody's passes and I was like, yo, I will see you guys tomorrow. And the way that Bree and Derby, we all just went in. I thought we was gonna have to wait because you guys didn't get the COVID check yet, right? I had mines the day before when I picked up my pass, and I was like, "Damn, I hope there's no COVID line for them to get." We walked in like they knew we was coming, like they was expecting us.
Oh my god, I knew they had to fix something. Last year was not the best they could do. 2021 was a shit show. Y'all, when I tell you I was sick, I was shaking, not COVID sick and shaking, just because we were out in that freezing cold for hours.
Cheeks was out.
Yeah, luckily I had like a proper warm-ish cosplay, but hours in that cold. But this year, nah, for the industry stuff at least, like for panelists and press, quickly walk straight in the door, get your wristband. It doesn't even take 5 minutes. And I heard that the main lines weren't terrible either. The numbers were like really decently controlled. Like you could move around everywhere. You could walk. It was a little packed, but you could move. You could get food. They had a lot of decent food.
Oh yeah.
You could buy stuff. You could take pictures. It was a good year.
It was. It was very calm. For all of you that don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I am 8 months pregnant. So yeah. So I was very worried that I wouldn't be able to keep up with Bree and Derby because of the baby on board or whatever. But I was able to I showed up for the panel. And I was able to shop a little bit. So that was good. I was able to meet some new awesome content creators. And it was fine. I thought we did a great job. I thought Bree and Derby took awesome photos. If you haven't checked it out, check it out on our Black Ramen Podcast Instagram. So it's Black Ramen _podcast on our IG. And there were some amazing cosplayers. My absolute favorite cosplay is Mikasa with Aaron's head. She was the most baddest bitch ever. And I was like, first of all, bitch, I don't even think you're supposed to be walking around like that because that's the manga version. And I don't think people caught up. I think you're spoiling it a little bit too much. But she was awesome. We took her picture and she was amazing. And it was dope. I got a chance to speak to, I think her name is Stephanie. That is the mother and also co-creator of Hypeland, where it's anime street clothing, right? And I got a chance to speak to her, and she was just like, she's a mother, and she was telling me how she was a teacher and she kind of let all that go to help her son pursue his dream of having the Hypeland brand. And as I'm talking to her, you know, belly swole and shit, and she was like, "Oh, you're gonna want to talk to my son." I said, "No. I want to talk to you." The reason I wanted to talk to her so much because she just opened up within the like, I only spoke to this woman for like 15 minutes, and she gave me the best advice a mother could give to another parent is, you got to let your kids do what they want to do and just support their passion, regardless of what it is. If they love it, as a parent, you nurture it and you love it. And I asked her, were there any doubts? And she said, no. Now she doesn't work. What she does, she helps her son because the brand has been doing so well. And I was like, no, I want to talk to you because this testimony, this story that you're telling me is so amazing. So we're talking, and she's telling me, you know, that she didn't find it difficult at all. She just was like, it was easy for her to be supportive because it was her son. Not a lot of people can do that because, you know, being nerds and liking what we like and being Black on top of it, or being a POC, your parents don't really feel like you have room to have hobbies because your main priority should be your academics. They don't want to see you pursue anything else because being Black or being a POC, not a lot of doors are going to be open for you. And you have to work 10 times harder than, you know, the palm colored. So she never, well, she probably thought about it, but she didn't bring that to her son. And I was like, that's a dope story. That's a dope perspective to have in an interview instead of just talking to him. No disrespect to him, but the mom.
But that's something we don't hear very much. So yeah, I would love to talk to her and have her on an episode just to get that perspective. Because a lot of us are getting into that like fandom elder territory. Like someone older who is still watching those cartoons. So mature, a lot of us are getting married, getting hitched, getting pregnant.
Yeah.
And like it's not as easy to be into this stuff. Like when you're in middle school and high school, people would shrug it off. Like, yeah, you're into some weird stuff, but whatever. But when you're a full adult and you're still saying like, yeah, I love this stuff, you get some looks. So to have someone like a parent perspective, someone who's now like herself getting a little into fandom through her son. Yeah. It's cool to just see another side.
Yeah. It's amazing. Like I went to my dentist and what he said, he saw my socks and they were like Pokemon socks. And he was like, oh, I love your socks. And I was like, oh, you watch anime? He's like, nah, I grew out of it. Damn, nigga, like you really had to just like, you don't think like I'm still into anime for you to be saying some shit like that? Like you just smack me. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Like that's so disrespectful. When I tell you I didn't say a word to that man until he told me go to the front to make your next appointment, I was like, nigga, fuck you. Like and to see somebody older who's in that community, who's being supportive and who's also a nurturer and a mom, I felt so connected to her. I was like, damn, I don't want to fan out. And I know she got shit to do. I could have talked to her for hours. I was like, miss. She gave me her email to hit her up. I said, miss, this right here could have been an episode. This right here could have been a easy episode. We could have learned. She was dropping gems. We could have learned so much. But yeah, shout out to her. Shout out to Hypeland. I got my Pokeball purse. And it's top quality. I love it. So shout out to them. So what else you was doing at the con?
I went to a lot of the panels. I feel like they were pretty decent this year. So much shopping. Again, guys, the art was magnificent. I wish I had more room for posters. And then the real dangerous thing, I didn't notice so many presses, like the giant Yem press table, the JC Novel Club table in previous years, but they just had their manga sitting out there saying, please buy me, and I did, like a sucker. I walked in confident thinking, okay, I don't have money this year, I'm gonna spend tops $50 while I'm here. Within 15 minutes of my arrival on Friday to the artist floor, I had already spent $60 because I bought 4 volumes.
There it is. I think Bree on the panel was saying she had to give up a kidney.
Yep.
Like she was like,
I seriously wish they would do that. Just have like a black market stall, a truck even out back. So when people run out of money, they can just go and restock, let's say. Get a little bit extra to really enjoy the weekend.
All that shit ain't sanitary too. Like, you know, it's like Who cares? You come
You
out
do
with
what you got to do.
I got the money. Let me get the vodka.
Go pull a chainsaw man. Sell one eye and your left testicle.
Oh my God. Just for some toast. Just for some toast.
For some toast, with jam and butter.
Oh yeah, that was good. But honey, he had everything, all the condiments to make
that
it good.
Did not look good. That looked disgusting, but he didn't know better.
Nah, the jelly was better. The jelly looked nice. The jelly looked nice. It's Mappa.
That show is too pretty.
Too gorgeous.
I'm not caught up, but every time I see a clip, I just dang, that's getting anime of the year. It is. We all know it. We all know, and it kind of does deserve it.
No, it's unfair. The reason they getting it is because, matter of fact, Bree, go ahead. Tell the folks why you feel like it deserves it. I'm going to the bathroom. Go ahead.
What? Stop. Just because the story, from what I've heard, I'm not even caught up on it. Oh my God, she really just left me.
I said I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, then let's make this quick. We'll wrap it up. We're approaching the hour mark anyway.
No, we got like 5 minutes. Let me go to the bathroom.
Okay, fine. Go. I'll talk about Chainsaw Man for a minute.
Okay. Hold on. Hold on. How I make the I'm so nasty. Hold on. Cancel. Hold on. There it is. Go ahead.
See what she does to me? Okay. So I have seen like 2.5 episodes of Chainsaw Man. At first, I was greatly annoyed with it because y'all know me. I can't do horror. I can't do scary. I can't do bloody or gory. And from what I'd seen of Chainsaw Man before, that was like the entire story. Plus, I had Patty and Derby in my ear for like months saying, it's not that good. It's overhyped. Months before it came out saying, there's really nothing to it. So I sat down, I watched it, ready to be annoyed and disappointed. And that first episode, dang. It was beautiful. It was well told. It is not the best first episode in all of anime. I don't care what nonsense people saying. It's not the absolute peak pinnacle, but it looked great. The storyline of that first episode was executed well. I saw that episode and the next one. All the characters were interesting. And again, the art did not slip. I've seen a few bits and pieces of later episodes, and the art still just looks so incredible. So I'd say if I was scoring it, from what I've seen, the characters, I'd give them a solid 8 or 9. I haven't really seen that much. From the storyline, based off what Patty and Derby have been saying, maybe a 7. But the art out of 10 is like a 50. So not only is it pretty decently solid in terms of storyline and characters, it is exceeding expectations for just how gorgeous it is. It is so good looking that if you're trying to get someone into anime, do not show them Chainsaw Man. If someone is new, do not show them Chainsaw Man, because that's like showing them Full Metal Alchemist for their first anime. Everything else will be a little disappointing. Everything else they will compare to that because it's like, dang, that was just so nice. So that's why it had huge hype, huge expectation, and it actually met and delivered on that hype and expectation. The closest thing I can compare it to is when people were so excited about God of High School. A webtoon was getting an anime. We all saw the trailers. It looked amazing. And then we started watching it, and it turns out all the amazingness was already shown in that trailer. The storyline flopped. Characters flopped. All it was pretty looking. But Chainsaw Man, it has more than just pretty looking. And so with all that combined, I think it's getting anime of the year. I can't think of anything that can beat it in terms of expectation, in terms of following, in terms of just really delivering on something that looks amazing. Except Attack on Titan wasn't this year, was it?
No. Nah, it was December.
It was? Okay. Then yeah, that would be the only thing I can think that could really match up to it.
Bleach.
And that's just because Attack on Titan is like so huge in anime right now.
Yeah, that's true. That's another thing I was disappointed about. I wasn't able to go on that panel to see.
The Isayama?
Isayama. Yeah, I heard he cried.
Good cry, or we made him cry?
Or we made him cry. No, good cry.
Okay. Because I know people were saying, please be nice to him. Please don't be mean. And he was scared to come to America because We can be very American over here.
True.
But good cry.
It was a good cry. He said that he questioned after finishing the manga, he questioned himself if he was doing the right thing as far as ending the manga the way it did. And it
No spoils, please.
No spoils. It gave him a lot of sleepless nights. So what he ended up doing was he said, please forgive me and stuff like that. And then somebody shouted, they was like, nah, we love you, we love you, we love you. And then he just teared up a little bit, and we were like, oh my gosh, like,
oh, thank God we did something right. Well done, Attack on Titan fans that got into that panel.
I mean, man, this is a guy that didn't know where his next meal was coming from. This is a man that was homeless at one point. This is a man that struggled, that knew what it was to grind. For him to go through all that, and for him to persevere through all that, and for his hardest moments was to disappoint his fans, that says a lot. That says a lot. Because, bitch, I'm worried about my next meal. I need to know. You think I'm worried about you? No. This the story gonna end the way I want it to end. I need to know if I'm getting miso soup with my rice and extra soy sauce. I need to know what's going to be in my belly before I go to bed. This dude had, not only that, his first check, the bank did not want to cash his first check because they did not believe him that this was his check. The mom, I think, who had to call? I think his boss, his editor had to call the bank and let him know, like, yeah, nah, he's a mangaka. That's his first check. Like, to go through all that, and you mean to tell me one of the hardest things in your life was disappointing your fans when you realized that they weren't okay with the ending? That's a lot. That's a lot. New York could tear a motherfucker down. Like, he wouldn't have said that if he was going anywhere like Cali or Texas, but New York, he said, you know? So that was, I'm mad I missed that panel. I'm mad.
It was hard to get into.
Wasn't it? Oh my God, it was hard. Oh God. But I got a question for you, Brie.
Mm-hmm.
What would you like to happen to Black Ramen this year? What is it that you would like to see moving forward? What is it that you think that you would like the opportunity for us to have that we haven't pursued yet?
I haven't pursued yet, but I want to go to a Black Ramen karaoke party. I have been away and remote for so long that I can't wait to do something in person with you guys. Like, COVID safe and whatever. But I don't know. I want to get out. I want to do stuff. I heard that karaoke parties were so much fun, and I'm so jealous of all the people that got to go. So, yeah, I want to have those meetups. We mentioned in our panel of possibly, like, organizing a women's anime meetup somewhere in New York. I want to do that. I want to go. I want to see all the ladies. So, yeah, that's what I want to do.
You see what Bree's doing? She's doing it specifically not for the podcast, but for her.
Yes.
I want to be around.
The podcast is for me. Tell me you didn't start this for us.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That is the best reason to have a podcast, because I want to. We organize events because we want to. In fact, everything we have in fandom, like all the amazing artwork, all the posters, the keychains, the stickers, the meetups, the groups, it's because a fan decided, I want this. This right here, yeah, I'm doing this. Money, who's that? Other people, they'll come or they won't. But this is for me.
You're not lying. You're not lying. Yeah, you're right. Okay, you're not lying. You're not.
What about you? What do you want to see this year?
Oh, wow. I want to see us in a network. Yeah, I think we could hold it down. I would like to see us in a network. I would like to see us either at a Joe Button network or anywhere television, anywhere like a G4 network or something. I want to see us in a network I want to see people streaming us on on television. I want people to actually see us and say, hey, that could be me.
Oh, that's ambitious, but hey, let's go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanna yeah, I think we'll do great. You don't think so? You don't think so? We gotta be late night though, like but that's the thing though. I don't think we could talk about anime that late in the night and have like the audience that we would want to have. Because then it'll be like, too grown. Which is not wrong with that. It's just that, I want to be able to go to these events where Crunchyroll don't have to slap an 18 up on us and be like, nah, you can't pull up. This is people's parents are going to be a little upset if we do.
You want to go kid friendly?
Not kid friendly, but no hentai.
Then what are we supposed to talk about?
Oh my God. We can talk about a lot. I've heard now that Barnes and Nobles have the LGBTQ section for manga. Like a whole rack of stuff for LGBTQ, which is super, super exciting. I mean,
that's interesting, but seems a little difficult to do. We'll have to talk about that some other day because I think it's time to wrap up.
Okay, so thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of our anniversary episode. On behalf of Derby, what's up? Derby could not be here, and yeah, if you came to our panel at Anime NYC, we appreciate you. If you want to take a look at that panel, it is now up on our YouTube channel where it says Anime NYC, creating safe spaces for Black and POC women in the nerd community. We want to take a special time to shout out Hub Taku, Tammy, Vaughn, everybody else that was able to make that panel possible. We also want to shout out Christopher Skitz. Thank you again for being supportive, being a part of the Black Ramen family, because you're damn near family since you could claim us on your taxes now. You're damn near family. Who else? Oh yeah, diversity in manga. That was a panel that we also participated in with Gigi and Katie Fox. Thank you again for having me up there as a moderator for that panel, and support them as well. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Thank you for tuning into Black Ramen Podcast, our 4th-year anniversary. Thank you, Crunchyroll, Anime NYC, for giving us panel passes, panelists, pro passes. When I put that shit around my neck, that shit felt so nice. I was like, excuse me, let me put my crown on. So thank you so much. Shout out to Derbs, he couldn't be here. But yeah, and with that being said, any final words, Bree?
No, good night, and welcome us into year number 4.